He grew up with sewage flooding his apartment and an absent father, but by 21, he was the NBA's #1 pick, scoring 30 points in his debut. Allen Iverson's rise from crisis to stardom hit a darkness that would nearly destroy him, and against all odds, he fought his way back. What drove the Addict, who became one of basketball's highest-paid icons? The answer begins where survival was never guaranteed. Allen Iverson's childhood began in the shadow of hardship. Born in 1975 in Hampton, Virginia, he shared a cramped apartment with his mother, Ann, and younger siblings. The floors were often slick with sewage from broken pipes, a daily reminder that comfort was a luxury his family could not afford. Ann worked long shifts at low-wage jobs, sometimes juggling 2 or 3 at a time, just to keep food on the table. With Allen's father gone, Ann became the anchor, her voice steady even when the power was out or the fridge sat empty. Responsibility landed early on Allen's shoulders. By age 10, he was caring for his little sisters, running errands, and defending himself in a neighborhood where fights broke out as often as rainstorms. The world outside their door was rough, and inside, the pressure to survive never let up. Basketball offered a rare escape. Allen's first court was a patch of cracked asphalt behind the housing project, where he played barefoot or in hand-me-down sneakers. He chased every loose ball with a hunger that came from more than just wanting to win. It was about proving he could rise above the chaos. Neighbors noticed his drive, but it was Ann who shaped Allen's stubborn will. She pushed him to stay out of trouble, even when trouble seemed to find him. Each setback, missed meals, an absent father, the sting of poverty, became fuel for a competitive fire that burned hotter with every challenge. Long before the world saw Allen Iverson as a basketball prodigy, he was a kid fighting for dignity, resilience forged in the heat of survival. The 1996 NBA draft buzzed with anticipation, but few expected a 6-foot guard from Hampton to go first overall. When the Philadelphia 76ers called Allen Iverson's name, the room erupted. He was the smallest player ever taken at #1, but he arrived with a reputation for making giants look ordinary. Iverson wasted no time proving he belonged. In his first NBA game, he scored 30 points, slicing through defenders with the speed and swagger the league had not seen. That night set the tone. This rookie was not waiting his turn. Game after game, Iverson's numbers piled up. He averaged 23.5 points and 7.5 assists as a rookie, but it was the way he scored that changed perceptions. He darted into the paint against 7-footers, took contact, and finished anyway. 5 straight games with 40 or more points shattered Wilt Chamberlain's old rookie record. Each crossover and fearless drive sent a message. Size was no longer destiny in the NBA. By the season's end, Iverson was not just a highlight machine. He was Rookie of the Year, outshining a class that included Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, and Steve Nash. Fans packed arenas to see him challenge the old order, and suddenly the 76ers were national news. Fame hit fast and hard. He went from local legend to global headline almost overnight. Every move was scrutinized, every mistake magnified. The pressure to deliver never let up, but Iverson thrived on it, carrying the weight with the same defiant energy he brought to the court. The league had never seen a rookie like him, and it could not look away. The 2000 to 2001 season belonged to Allen Iverson. He tore through defenses, averaging 31.1 points and 2.5 steals per game, dragging the Sixers to a place they had not seen since the Julius Erving era. In June, the league handed him the Most Valuable Player trophy. At 6 feet and 165 pounds, he was the smallest player ever to claim the award. That summer, Iverson's name was everywhere. His crossover became a rite of passage for defenders, his cornrows and tattoos a lightning rod for debate. On the court, he was untouchable. In Game 1 of the finals against the Lakers, Iverson dropped 48 points and delivered a moment that would echo for decades: the step over, Tyronn Lue sprawled on the hardwood, Iverson striding past, chin high. It was more than a highlight. It was a declaration that the underdog could own the spotlight, but the glare came with a price. Every move, every word, every late night became national news. The press room was a minefield. Reporters circled, waiting for a slip, and Iverson gave them one, the infamous practice rant. 22 times he said the word, frustration leaking out with every repetition. What most missed was the pain behind it. Losses, injuries, the pressure to carry a city's hope on his back. Off the floor, Reebok saw the cracks beneath the surface. In 2001, they structured a $32 million trust fund, locked until Iverson turned 55. The deal was a lifeline disguised as a reward, a corporate safety net for a star known to burn through cash as fast as defenders. The money would wait, even if Iverson could not. Success did not erase the old wounds. It just meant the stakes were higher, and the world was always watching for the fall. Late nights blurred into early mornings, the line between celebration and self-destruction vanishing as Allen Iverson's world spun out of control. Alcohol became a constant companion, first at clubs, then everywhere. Friends and teammates watched as his appetite for risk grew louder. Casinos called his name, and he answered, tossing chips across green felt with the same reckless confidence he once brought to the court. In February 2004, security at Bally's in Atlantic City caught him urinating in a trash can on the casino floor. Management banned him from the property, a public humiliation that splashed across headlines and whispered through locker rooms. The chaos did not stop there. Gambling debts stacked up, and rumors of unpaid bills followed him city to city. The Sixers' patience thinned as missed practices and strained relationships became routine. By December 2006, the team that once built everything around him traded their franchise star to the Denver Nuggets. The move was supposed to offer a fresh start, but the same shadows trailed him west. Nights out multiplied, and so did the stories. Lost fortunes, blown opportunities, friendships fraying under the weight of addiction. Each incident chipped away at the myth of invincibility. The man who had carried a city now struggled to carry himself. Headlines shifted from basketball brilliance to off-court disasters. The spiral tightened, and the world watched, waiting for the inevitable crash. In the glare of the spotlight, Allen Iverson's private battles became public spectacle, and the fall felt both sudden and unstoppable. Court papers stacked up as Allen Iverson's marriage unraveled. In 2011, Tawana filed for divorce after years of turmoil, launching a bitter custody fight that played out in public. Iverson, once the face of the league, now faced losing his family and his fortune. The headlines shifted from his crossover to claims he couldn't pay for a cheeseburger. A Georgia judge seized his bank account to settle a six-figure jewelry debt, and creditors lined up for what little remained. Reporters called it bankruptcy, but the reality was starker. Iverson, who had earned nearly $200 million, found himself cash-strapped with no safety net in sight. The man who once filled arenas now sat alone, his world reduced to courtrooms and empty bank statements. Everything he'd built seemed at risk of slipping away. 6 months without a drink was one of the best decisions of his life, Allen Iverson said. He spoke about it with the same honesty that once made his game electric. He said, "When you get drunk, you are not how you usually are." Sobriety didn't come from a clinic or a court order. It came from exhaustion, from watching his family slip away, and from a need to show his children a different kind of strength. Reconciliation with Tawana brought new purpose. Family dinners replaced late nights, and hard conversations became a path to healing. In 2016, the Hall of Fame welcomed him, not just as a scorer or a showman, but as someone who had survived himself. Iverson's story now lives in every player who wears their truth on their sleeve, proof that authenticity, once doubted, can become a legacy. Today, over 40% of NBA players face financial trouble after retirement. Iverson's path reminds us that talent alone cannot shield anyone from addiction or redemption. The real legacy is this: every comeback starts with confronting what we hide. The spotlight's glare never outshines the struggle within. What do you think?